Welcome back to another Morbid Sunshine. I just wanted to talk about the developments on the Heuermann trial. I'm just going to poke my microphone in. I hope everybody's well. Please turn the volume down. And turn it back up now. Hi, welcome back. I wanted to talk about the updates and the developments on the case. And lately, we thought that trial would start in September sometime. And then it's now telling us it's been put back to January. What we haven't really discussed is what happened in court that day, and what I feel is that I get an underlying feeling from what I've been reading that the baby and the lady who was found, there'll be some particular developments along the way along them lines, and I feel it's to do with the Heuermann case. Also, the request for Bittroff to have Heuermann be compared to the DNA found at the scene on his case. They want him to be tested to see if they can get a connection to Heuermann, because he was going to get charged for Sandra Costello, but in the end what happened, Bittroff wasn't the culprit. So in October, the judge granted a request for convicted murderer John Bittroff to compare the DNA from one of the crime scenes with Heuermann's DNA. Bittroff's legal team is seeking to clear his name and noted that he was previously suspected of murder of Sandra Costello, one of the Heuermann's alleged victims. So the identity of Tanya Denise Jackson coming at this time, and Tatiana Marie Dykes. I feel the development of that link is to do with Heuermann too, because it just seems the time in April when it was identified, and then this case is being put back. I feel she may be a new victim identified in the case. That's just my theory. I just would like you to know my theories. So the DNA evidence to be admitted in September, a judge ruled that the advanced DNA evidence, specifically for the whole genome sequencing, saying what they did in the Koberger trial, can be used at trial. The defence have attempted to block the evidence, calling the method magic, but the judge has affirmed it and it's admitted. Prosecutors say the technology links to Heuermann to 6 of the 7 victims, so there you go, so there's links there. On the other victim, it's his wife's hair, so, there's links there too. The trial, the judge denied the defence request to have separate trials for each victim, which I feel that is the sensiblest thing to do here. Why have so many trials costing so much money and putting people through that? Ruling that all 7 murder charges will be heard together. The prosecution had argued that the single trial would be present in full narrative to the alleged crimes, so the full that the prosecution that argued that a single trial would present the full narrative of the allegations. So the allegations about the other victims that may not have the DNA could be brought up. In that sense, it makes it sound that way to me through what I've read so far. And yeah, I just would love to know what yourselves think about that. So when the trials are underway and getting ready, prosecution's getting ready for trial now, and they've turned over all the evidence to the Heuermann's legal team now. That's it's like 723 page inventory. So they have the chance and the opportunity to go through this now in that time and see that maybe a change of play perhaps. The Heuermann family is still going to court, supporting him. Her divorce coming through in March, so she still has the feeling that he's innocent, which is absolutely strange, because looking at the basements, and even in the Peacock documentary clips I've seen, because I went by it to watch it, because I don't want to glamorise stuff like that. I don't watch Netflix programmes. I don't watch any of the Heuermann ones, because I don't like glamorising stuff like that and taking advantage of victims' vulnerability. And I don't mean the victims who passed away, I mean the victims, their families, their people. And I've heard that this affidavit, that the witnesses, in the case, is been put together, but I've yet to see it. I've yet to see this affidavit with other victims connecting Shannon Gilbert. I'm yet to see it. So if there is that manner of a witness to Heuermann with Shannon Gilbert, why hasn't the affidavit come out on Reddit or something? I've not seen it yet. I don't understand why we haven't seen it yet. Yeah, so these are the queries I have. I'll be on to read another deep dive into the the Murder Inc. documents, article, WordPress, which is fantastic background on New York, his environment, the people around him. And if you really do have a keen interest in the case, I would suggest you watch my 7-part series and then the other parts as well, because this has got to do with family, this has got to do with the Catholic Church, it's got to do with a lot of things. And it could be possible that it's a cult, it's a network. We haven't yet come to the conclusion that's not. So I feel that I keep an open mind about this, and I feel that a lot of people who've watched other channel, have only had or heard half of these article details about the Murder Inc. And I think it does a little injustice to it, without being negative. I'm not being negative, I'm just saying, if you take the time to realise what Murder Inc. have put together there, it's sincere links to this man, in a lot more that's coming up now. And if you really want to know that, look at my playlist. There's hundreds on my playlist. I've got a huge playlist out there, and for some reason people don't seem to know where it is, or haven't got many views on it at all. But it's not just my videos, okay? If you have a problem with my microphone, I apologise. I can't put a fake persona on. I really am trying my best to be as exciting to listen to as possible with a really low volume voice, right? I haven't got animated cues in my speaking, but what I have got is loads that I've recorded that I've read on murdering, okay? So if you are interested in that, here we go, let me show you. Right, I've got a huge playlist, but some of them are not displayed for reasons I won't go into, okay? This has got over 70 videos now, and it's all the background on Kenneth Heuermann, everything. I've read like 4 hours of murdering on Rex Heuermann's uncle alone, at least, 78 videos I've done. Out of them 78 videos, I'd say about 60 I've done, okay, on this subject, deep dives. I've talked about Peter Hackett, I've read his deposition, I've read what my conclusions were, and that's been recent, on that case with Shannon Gilbert. I don't think Shannon accidentally passed away, so that's worth listening to. I don't know, unless Heuermann was there in the background of Shannon that day, I will never know unless he confesses to it, and which I'm hoping that he has in his heart. The feeling of bringing this to rest now and giving a confession of sorts, of any kind, even if it's a real one. Write a book, do something, because the answers and the connections could possibly land in like Epstein's. So I have no idea if he knows that much, if you know what I mean. That's all I'm interested in, is to find out. The conclusion of this isn't to do with a larger person's organisations, because it's still an ongoing case, okay? There's still victims that need answers. So that's what this channel's plainly about. It's not about just Heuermann alone, okay? And I'd love to have more subscribers. Please like. It gets me support, it gets me seen for other people to join the chat with you. And take care.